Welcome everyone to another live stream here at drawingtutorialsonline.com. My name is MatthewArchambault. I should be getting ready here to hear my sound in a second. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today's class is going to be about figure drawing. We've got one pose that we're going to draw, but we're going to break it down a little bit and draw it a couple times initially, and then we'll just kind of go for it. Let's see here. Give me a thumbs up. Making sure that you can all hear the sound on this live stream. That would be really, really cool. And if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to ask, okay? Okay. Black Sun, hello. Phoenix, welcome. Phoenix, how's the sound? Hi, Leah, good morning. I know this is your favorite model as well as my favorite model we're going to draw here today. Okay, yeah, so I'm just waiting to just check in on, let me just skip this, how the sound is, because I'm not hearing any sound for whatever reason. All right, I'll put it in the chat. Sound is fine. Okay, great. Okay, wow, yes, yes. Wes is here. I don't know, yay. Black Sun. Hitrozop. I probably butchered that. I'm very, very sorry. And God, okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right. So it's about like Black Sun, awesome. It's about like 100 degrees here on Eastern Long Island, and yesterday was out of control. So I'm feeling the heat radiating around me. So let's get started. Too much talking here. Now, let me just share with you what I completed last week. Judith is here. Oh, now, okay, listen, you sent me an email with your pronunciation with the phonics, Rajai, and I read it. Hi, Kim. Welcome. I read it, and now I forgot. That was like 7 days ago. So maybe you can put your phonics in the chat here. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. This was the drawing, and I'll just kind of hold it up here. One moment. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. This was the one that I did last week, and basically, let me just click on one thing here. Basically, it was kind of a little small. It was a little small. It was about 8 inches tall, and that's a little too tiny for me to like get in details in the face. And I didn't really love the way that it photographed. But it's all good. You know, it was really good practice, and we worked with the Color-Rays pencil. So I did enjoy that. And so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Today, I'm going to use a mechanical pencil. Now, listen, speaking of Wes, Trinity is here. Absolutely. Welcome, Trinity. Glad to see you. We're going to do a little figure drawing today. I found this pencil in my perspective class, and I kept it for like 2-3 weeks after, because I'm like, this has got to be like a student's most favorite pencil, and I've got to find who left the pencil there. And I asked every week, I'm like, who left this pencil here? Did anyone leave this pencil here? Because, I mean, it's not like a super expensive pencil, but when people lose a mechanical, it might be their favorite mechanical. And I'm like, okay, let me see who lost this thing. And nobody claimed it. So I'm like, all right, it's mine now. But if you lost this pencil in my class, I will still give it to you. Now, I never, ever do figure drawing with a mechanical pencil, but we're going to do it today. Now, back in the day, let's switch cameras here. Okay, so Trinity, yay, okay, welcome. So back in the day, I'm just putting this scrap piece of paper here on my drawing table, which is my Cintiq, and I'll switch cameras right now, so bear with me. Let's go here. Okay. Now, listen, I get it. You know, we've got our figure there, and it totally sucks that I got to block stuff out with those white marks. Now, last week, YouTube thought that I had, like, full nudity, but I did not. I blocked it out. So I kind of argued that, and I won the case. So today, no nudity again, and those marks are kind of a pain in the butt. Now, I usually post this video on my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com, when I'm done with this live stream, and I put the photo there. This photo pack is on graphitstudio.com, and if you want to check it out, you can buy that there. Okay, so let's warm up a little bit. Let's warm up a little bit. All right. So yeah, you know my warm up. Oh, mechanical pencil. God. Okay, this is weird. Oh, I like that. That's cool. I'm just doing my circles. Let me get a little closer until you can see my bald head or not see my bald head. Um, cool. Just makes me jealous. Yeah. So the way that you get out of that jealousy mode is you just draw in that sketchbook 10 minutes a day, and that's going to help you tremendously. I'm digging the way that this is feeling. All right. So this is nice. This is my warm up. I love to do the ovals. You know that if you've been watching me. Now, look, I haven't lifted my pencil off of the page yet. And I'm a big believer. I'm going to be teaching pre-college class in like 2 weeks at the School of Visual Arts, and we're going to do this first. And it's going to allow students to break their nerves because they're all going to be like a little nervous drawing in front of people that they don't know for the first time in a class at a college because they're all like 10th grade, 11th grade. So doing this is just gets your fingers going. Now, I also like long lines, so we can do some long figure eights. Trinity, are you doing this summer in your sketchbook? I hope so. In between whatever else you're doing over there. This is very good. And then in that figure eight, I like to do the little circles as well. Now, you could also now do my little opposite C thing, which is basically the letter C and the opposite letter C, and then the letter C, and then the opposite letter C, and then let's just do a longer one. Now, listen, I get it. I'm really zoomed out right now. I'm sorry. Let me keep it zoomed out. We're going to draw a couple little figures here. So now what you can also do is let's do a couple of little rough skeletons. So look, it's rib cage. It's pelvis. So what do? Oval circle. Isn't that the same as our warm-up? Yes, it is. And then we can do, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, okay. Sorry, my bad. So now I could do just long leg. And this person's upper leg, lower leg is going to be on that. And then head. So quick skeleton, hand on hip, and hand on knee. So let's do center line, navel, center line, done. And now let's just do a couple of these mummification lines around the feet, mummification lines around the head, just like what we're doing over here with the warm-up. Okay, and that's a quick way to warm up and draw in the figure. Let's do another one. Let's do another one down over here. So I'll do a seated, hunched over. And I have no idea what graphite is in this pencil. There's only one additional little graphite thing in there. So hopefully I have enough. Catherine, welcome. Definitely, I always use the figure eights and circles as my morning warm-up. Okay, awesome. So now, look, oval, just like that, rib cage, circle, upper leg, kneecap, lower leg. I'm going to make the lower legs shorter so I can fit them in. And head. So shoulders, center line, navel. Yeah, box for the pelvis maybe, just so we can kind of do something a little bit more different, fun. And another like quick like little figure there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have zoomed in. I knew I was going to do a bunch of these little ones. Now, the last thing that I can do here is I could draw with some torso peanut shapes. So this is somebody's torso. That is their butt. That's the bottom of their rib cage, and that could be their spine. This could be their sacrum. I don't know what I'm doing here with that side of the butt. And that could be their shoulders. And now leg. And so that's and back of the head. Okay, so when I do this warm-up thing on YouTube, like this is something that you've got to take seriously, because what is the alternative? Let's do the alternative. I know Trinity's going to hate this. The alternative is you drawing the rough skeleton like this, where you are constantly lifting your pencil off of the paper. And constantly lifting your pencil off of the paper. And let's do the circle for the pelvis. Let's do the legs. I've seen people draw legs and they use like 30 lines for a leg. And this model's on stilts today. Okay, yeah, there we go. And they're little knock kneed. So this is called a nervous line. And let's do the navel. Let's press down as hard as we possibly can to get that navel. And yeah, so you don't want to do that. I know I repeat this every single week on my live stream, and I repeat this all the time in my live drawing class. And this is going to be the numero uno thing that I'm going to have to contend with, helping the students break free from in 2 weeks when I teach that pre-college class at the School of Visual Arts. Yes, so this is huge. Now, let me just look at a comment here. The nut technique is really good. I think I got decent at drawing gestures. I'm not that crazy good, but I can capture the feeling. Do you think it would be good to jump and learn something else? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And I'm going to do one more gesture of this model with 2 to 3 other techniques, and I'll show you another technique. It's good to always be learning new techniques, but ultimately you want to practice the techniques in isolation and then understand that that is different than your personal style of art. Oh, you're in the car. Oh, God. Okay, don't draw in the car, please. All right. Yeah, it's always good to learn new stuff. The problem is people never become an expert at one thing. They're always bouncing around to the next shiny object, thinking that's going to be their salvation. Been there, done that. And yeah, so it's good to just pick one and really try to become an expert at it. But keep learning new stuff. I know that's a contradiction, but it's not. It's the amount of time that you spend on what you want to be an expert at. Okay, coffee break time here. 1 second. And then I'm going to switch pieces of paper. All right, let's get rid of this mess. Can you imagine if you just kind of saw that on YouTube? I would lose all my. I don't have a lot of subscribers for the amount of years that I've been on YouTube. So listen, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you gotta subscribe to my channel, and please give this video a thumbs up, even if you don't like it. Okay, you can't take yourself too seriously. You gotta have a little fun with this. Let's get rid of this. I'm just leaving my hand there so the camera doesn't lose focus. One more scrap piece of paper, and yes, let me tape it down and let me tape it at the bottom. So I just want to do a couple of drawings. I could have gotten a bigger piece of paper for this, Matt, really. Okay, it is what it is. So let's do a gesture of this pose. Let's do a gesture. So I'm going to do it. Let's see, am I on the screen? Yes, okay, cool. So this would be my big opposite C for the back. And then I go across to the hip and line of action. Is that on the camera? Yes. To the hip, line of action all the way to that foot. Get the foot planted on the floor. Come on back. Get the tilt of the shoulders. Come on back. Get a little bit of the spine. Come on over here. Get the center of the butt. Get the other side of this model's butt. And then I'm not going to draw that whole leg. I'm just going to suggest that foot. And now we're going to do this quick... I'm not timing this, but the idea is that it would be like a 2-minute gesture. And then the model's hair. So let me just, hair. Let's start over. So a little bit more continuous line. Now draw in your own style and come on down and let's get the bottom of the butt. It's okay to use some tone. I'm going to move the center of the butt over to the left. And then I'm going to say, oh, okay, cool. So quad muscle into this leg. So that is our opposite letter C, and then I'm going to do letter C at the inside of the knee, and then wrap around and come on down over here to the back of the heel. I'm going to lower the foot. And so if I wanted to now, I could do some lines in the middle. So I could say, let's do some tonal things over there, tonal things over here. I'm just not using mechanical pencil, but it is pretty fun. Cool. And maybe a little tone over here. and back up top to the front of the face, and maybe over here. Now, these arms are extremely complicated. Maybe I'm just going to throw in like a little bit of tone, and I should do this shoulder and this arm, and we're almost at 2 minutes here. Now, I'm outlining, which is a no-no, but yeah, I'm just outlining in this little area over here just to kind of complete that. So that could be, sorry, I didn't get the top of it in. That could be your gesture sketch. And the most important part of that gesture sketch was the way that we started. Okay. Do I have chicken scratch? Yeah, I do. I got chicken scratch, people. It's all over here. It's very chicken scratchy. But yes, we started with the letter C here, and then we went to a longer opposite letter C to the bottom of the foot. So that is mucho important, that you start with this curvy continuous line and you just, yes. And so next step, on top of that, you could draw the torso peanut shape. So it could be now the top of the shoulders and the bottom of the butt and get that center line. So that could be step number 2. Or what you could do is you could start first by drawing the torso. So you get the bottom of the model's butt, you go around the hip, and you come on in super thin rib cage area. Don't worry about the breast, just get the shape, and then shoulders, and then just get the spine. So you could start that way first. And if you like that, great, okay? And so next could be, we just do the line of action with this leg next. So it's just that to the foot. It's very important that you suggest the foot. And then what I could do next is I could just suggest the tilt of the face. So within like 30 seconds, you've got the pose, right? And I'm talking gestural right now, but this gesture drawing, why do we do this thing where we only spend 2 minutes drawing the model? Like, that's kind of like ridiculous, right? Well, we do it because that's how you really very, very quickly learn to see proportions. Now, let me talk about, for Black Sun, a different technique, okay? Now, I'm going to struggle with this. I'm going to struggle big time, but I'm going to go for it. Now, I'm drawing with my mechanical pencil, so I'm harkening back to days gone by, far, a long time ago. So I would do the angles, and I would say, okay, I'm starting in the same area. I'm starting at the back, right? So it's the tilt of the back, it's the bottom of the rib cage, it's the small of the back, it's the top of this model's hip butt, and then angle. So now I can just do angle for the top of the shoulders, and I'm going to go through the breast like it's not even there. So just get that angle. Now angle for the hip, and then angle all the way down to the foot. I'm not on camera. Let me zoom out just a little bit. My bad. So, because she's got long legs. Okay. A long leg in this pose. Now, it's technically longer. Now, I don't love what I'm doing with the angles. I can't draw this way anymore. But in actuality, this is how I learned how to draw. Okay, so I'm going to lift this. And so that could be the way, that a different way to practice that is not curvy. And why would we waste our time practicing like this? Because this is how you train, excuse me, your eye to see what's level, what's not level, what's plumb, what's angled at a 45-degree angle. And yeah, so this for me involves constantly lifting my pencil off of the paper, which now I hate doing. But back in the day, this like really worked for me. And you can see I'm struggling because I don't like to draw this way anymore. But it's good to do this, and I'm going to have to do this. So this is really good practice when I teach the students in the pre-college class in 2 weeks. This is awesome because I'm warming up for that, and I won't make a fool out of myself using the angles for the first time in years. So upper arm, lower arm, hands. Is that on? Yeah, okay, cool. And hand and lower arm and upper arm. So now, okay, This is gross. I hate this, but I'm just showing this to Black Sun. This is a different way to draw, AKA the bark plates. Now, you can't do the angles technique without always, and this is where I'll see all my screw ups, always using measurements. Okay. So what am I talking about? Well, is this on the camera? Yes, it is. What is right below the elbow? Okay. So the hip is to the left. Now, I didn't do this. I should have done this before the live stream, but yeah, I was kind of trying to get an eyelash out of my eye. So now what's right below this elbow? And run parallel to the edge of the paper if you can. Maybe it's the heel of the model's foot is over to the left. Okay, cool. And what's right across from this dimple above the sacrum? Oh, okay. This dimple above the sacrum is higher. And what is right up above from the edge of the heel? Now, this foot is bearing all of the weight. So that foot needs to be underneath that model's head right there. So then it's angle of the neck, angle of the hair, angle of the hair, angle of the forearm, angle of the face. Let's get the angles over here of that deltoid. So now I can say, okay, if this is the center of the head, what's right below it? What's right below it? I'm just looking at my photo reference here. It's kind of a little bit more towards the back. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to do one more, people. One more. Let me just, hold on, Trinity. Let me get a little swig of my coffee here. Trinity, I'm sorry if I'm asking you again. Are you in the perspective in the spring or the fall? Okay, Black Sun. I don't know if you're still watching us here right now, but I'm going to give you one more technique for gesture drawing. So this one, we started with the letter C, opposite C, and then we just kind of drew. You could start with the torso peanut shape and then do the line of action and then go to the head. So we got head, foot, line of action, torso. Great way to start. If you want to practice seeing, spring. Thank you, Trinity. If you want to practice seeing and eye-hand coordination, the angles is very stiff, but it's just in isolation. It's a phenomenal technique. It's phenomenal because this is how you learn control. So it's angles and measurement. Now, the last way, and I'll do this small, and then we'll get to the drawing here. I'm really liking this mechanical here. The last way could be that you're going to just draw with tone. So I'm doing arm. Oops. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. I got one more graphite left. I got one more in this pencil. I don't know what it is, but we're being a rebel today, people. We're being a rebel. Awesome. So let's do this. So I'm not outlining. I'm now drawing with tone. I'm not going to draw the whole pose here. Tone. Tone. Butt. Tone. Center line. Tone. Upper leg. Let's just go to the upper leg. And this whole upper leg is in shadow. Cast shadow. Let's get the center line. So this is different now. This is drawing with tone. And how many of you out there like to paint and you're a painter? This is better for you if you're a naturally gifted painter and you see things better with tone and not outlines. So don't worry, just scribble, just scribble, and don't be perfect with it. So I get accused on YouTube that I'm not sharing with you techniques. I just kind of go to the drawing. But I've got a whole bevy of techniques that I teach. Every week I teach like 3 to 4 different techniques in class, and we draw them in isolation. And so this is my natural style. That's a technique of the torso peanut. This is a technique of the angles, and this is a technique of drawing with tone and not with an outline first. So you should practice all of these, right? Especially if you like to paint, you should work with tone. But this is the bark plates, and you should do that too. Okay, time for a little swig of coffee, and hopefully you're drawing along with me here today. Any questions so far, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. I think that's more talking than I've done in like the last week. Okay, Catherine, Trinity, Black Sun, and Rajai. Can I use any pencil for drawing, or B type is the best after drawing in pencil? How can I color pencil drawing? Okay, so I tell the students, like I'm about keeping it simple. I think you should use pencils that are in the B family. So HB, B, 2B, 3B. Those pencils are great. The pencil really is determined by two things for me. Well, three things. Number one, your style and what do you like. Number two, how much time do you have to do the drawing? So if I'm going to do like a 2-minute gesture, I'm using like a very soft graphite so I don't like destroy my hands. Style, time, and paper. What's the paper that you're using? So if I'm using newsprint, I like this thing. This is a 9B. On newsprint, this is like my favorite. Okay. On this white paper, I'm using the Colorays colored pencil. I'm not using it today because I just want to do something different. So just stick with the B's, okay? Don't go to the H's. Now, listen to me. Let me do one more thing for y'all here on YouTube. And I see there's other people posting. I'm going to use a different mechanical for a second just because I want to save that graphite. You should be able to... where can I do this? Press down really hard with your mechanical pencil with one graphite. And then you should be able to do a dark middle tone with one graphite, not using H's, not using 9B, not using 6H. And then you should be able to do a mid-tone with one pencil. And then you should be able to do a light mid-tone with one pencil. Okay? So you don't want to use this like 9B and that 3H. Like, your job is to develop your touch. And you could do, wow, this pencil's nice too. You can do that with your line also. Okay, let me just look at this. BA Humdingers here, welcome. Talk 14, this is one of your former students popping in to say hello, putting you on the background as I work. Awesome. Talk 14, love that. You got it. Okay, let's get to drawing here. So this one is a 0.7. This is cool. This is old school. Wow, that's nice too. Jesus. But I'm going to stick with this one. Now, I promise you, as we go, I'll zoom in a little bit, okay? Now, listen, everybody. I'm going to do a quick little commercial for myself here. If you're interested, this summer, I am doing one-on-one coaching. 2 people just signed up yesterday. And yes, if you're, what is the coaching? Let me just leave this here for a second. What is the coaching? Okay, let me take a break from this view here for a moment. The coaching is you sign up for the coaching and then you send me your artwork, about 10 pieces, and I do a critique of your artwork, right? And then after I send you that critique, it's usually like 45 minutes to an hour. I send you that video. You can download it. You can keep it. And I also draw on top of your artwork, and I send you to a Google Drive where you can see how I drew on top of your artwork. Then we can meet via phone or we can meet via Zoom. And then I give you a homework assignment, and then you take a week or 2 weeks, whatever works for you, and then we repeat and rinse. And then you send me your homework, I draw on top of it, we look and talk on Zoom or over the phone, and you get to download all the drawings that I drew on top of. And so we do that a total of 4 times, and you really, really super duper improve. Now, that is completely different than watching me on YouTube. Watching me on YouTube, it's fun, and I'm trying to give you as much free information as I possibly can here. But if you want something besides just like watching the teacher draw, which I think is great, that's how one way of learning. If you really look at your work and like you're unsure, like, oh God, I'm watching this guy draw and I understand what he's saying, but I'm something on my drawings doesn't look right. Check out the one-on-one coaching, because you could be doing the same thing over and over that's not getting you results, and you can do that for like 2 years, and that's no good. Like, you're wasting a lot of time. And compared to like what college cost, the one-on-one coaching is a deal. It's a major deal. Okay, I got my piece of paper here. Let's get started, and let me go back to this screen. Awesome sauce. Okay. Let me move this. Let me keep my hand there. Let me, just so the camera doesn't freak out. And let's put my grayscale up here so the camera has a little something to kind of look at. And yes, mechanical pencil. First coffee. Why did my music shut off? What the heck? Did the battery? Okay. All right. Where's that pencil? Here we go. Let's do this. Now, all right. The group coaching is if you become a member of my website, that's group coaching. So we meet on Zoom every Tuesday, and I look at people's work. And you also could upload your work to my gallery on the website, and I critique that every Monday. So that's different than the one-on-one coaching. Yeah, thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, people. Now, wait, 1 second. How big is this? I went too small last week. That's about 9 inches. Okay, I'm gonna lift this. So I've got 10 inches of play, and I'm gonna just mark my paper here where the bottom is, where the left is, and where the right is. Well, I got plenty of room there, and where the top is. Okay. Now, okay. So listen, everybody. When you draw, look at my hands and how it's moving on the paper. I am not moving my fingers yet. I'm moving my arm. Okay. And so you want to move your arm, you don't want to draw small strokes like that in the beginning. So now let's go for it. So where do I start? Okay, so I'm starting here. This is going to be my first mark. Now, when I do that, I'm sorry, I get it. This is small. I promise you I will zoom in as we start to put more pencil on the paper. This is the most important part right now. So if that's the model's shoulders, do I have enough room for the foot? Yes. Do I have enough room for the arms? Yes. Do I have enough room for that foot? Yes. So this is another reason why I like to start with the torso. So I'm going to start with the torso. And now I'm getting the small of the model's back. And now I'm getting the hip and the butt, side of the glute. Okay, cool. So, yes. And now shoulders with a round line. Well, I have all that information on my website. I don't want to talk about like prices and what all that costs, but I've got the link in the show notes to my website. After the live stream, if you're interested, you can click on that and see if that's within your price range. Okay, so now I'm coming over here to get the hip, and if you have any further questions, you can email me or just ask them in the chat of this video. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Okay, hip and hip. I'm going to zoom in. 1 second, because I'm drawing a little small. So now it's incumbent that you go from the hip down to the foot. You can do this with a studied line. It doesn't need to be such a simple line. And put a target down over there. Is that where the foot is? Now, look at the center of the butt. Is the foot below the center of the butt? It sounds silly, but these are the questions that you should be asking yourself. So I don't want to go too slow, because when I go slow, I tend to go slow, which is not good. You want to go a little faster. So now you've got to draw something in the middle. So in the middle, I'm drawing the center of the glutes. So you have to look from the center of the glute to the left. Is that wider than the center of the glute to the right? So look at that, because a lot of people get that center line wrong, okay? Yeah, this pose is phenomenal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, that's a good question. What am I going to do right now? I'm going to put some tone down. Yes, tone. I'm getting this angle. Now I'm looking at where the modeled knee is over here, and I'm not going to even draw that leg. I'm just suggesting that foot, and I'm looking at this foot. Okay, and the distance to the inside of the knee, and the inside of the knee is here, the butt's there. Okay, not bad, not bad. So that's very light on YouTube, and I know it's not really interesting to look at, but I'm just showing you like how I would start if I was gonna, let's say we spend an hour on this drawing. I don't know. I don't really like to choose hands overhead for a live stream video, because it just makes it so small on the screen to fit in the whole body. But I've got another view with the model cropped, and so we'll switch to that. So that, and I'm going to zoom in. So before I start to, I thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So listen to me. This, everybody, is a great way for you to think about. It's not perfect, but it's a great way for you to think about drawing the figure. So it's, you start with the torso, and you start with the torso. You do a long line of action down to the foot, the bottom of the foot, and you place a little line there to see, and you lean back, and you're like, okay, how long is that foot? Like, how long is that leg, I meant to say. And then don't live there. Like, go back up top and suggest the arms, but don't outline each arm. Like, draw the whole shape of the arms together, encompassing the head. So it's really torso, leg, arms. So you're trying your very, very best to see the figure with three big, massive shapes. Okay, now, is my drawing perfect? No, it's not even close. Are my proportions good? No, it's not even close. But who cares? Let's just go. Let's just go. So now, next step. Next step is up to you. I usually tell students, just draw what looks easiest to draw first. So now look at what I'm doing, people. I'm drawing with my fingers. Why am I drawing with my fingers? I normally don't do that, but this is tiny. This is not life drawing size. This is only 9 inches. So I recommend that you try to draw the figure 10 plus inches. Like 12 is great. 14 is even better, because especially for figure drawing, if you want your drawings to be less stiff and more movement involved, it's good to draw with your arms. So now, what am I doing now? I'm drawing with angles. Okay, I'm drawing with angles on top of my initial go through. So this is the model's lat muscle. This is the breast. Yes, membership is totally suitable for a beginner, because you're going to see if you like the way that I teach. You're going to see if you like the content before you commit, and you're going to see how I critique, because you could, the minute you become a member, you could upload one of your pieces of drawing a week to the critique gallery, and I can give you feedback, and immediately you could see if you like the way that I give feedback. Okay. Some students like a harsh teacher, like, you suck, this sucks, don't you know, I don't teach that way. Like, that's not my style. So some people like harsh teachers, and they just like to be beat up. That's not what I do. But there are students who work really well when the teacher's like, you really suck, and you didn't spend enough time on this homework. I'm really upset with you. And then the student some students connect with that. Yeah, that's not my style, though. Okay, so now look. All right, look. We did the 3 shapes. And then I went on the edge of the torso because the torso is my home base. I always like to kind of resolve that. Now I immediately went in, I tried to do a little bit of tone. Okay, I've got the tilt of the pelvis over here. Why is my arm shaky today? Maybe I got to move a little bit closer. I'm going to zoom in. This is so far away. I can't imagine somebody working on this, watching this on an iPhone. They're probably using like a microscope. This is the problem with drawing a full figure in a live stream. I've got to zoom out so you can see the whole thing, and that kind of stinks. So now I'm going to continue with tone. I kind of want to draw the torso first so I can show you with my drawing, if you're drawing along with me, what this model's butt kind of looks like, because the butt is kind of covered for YouTube's guidelines, and so you can't really see, and I get that. So I'm just putting the center line in, and I'm getting the cast shadow, and then I'm getting where the line separates the light from the shadow. I'm getting the tilt of the model's hip, and I'm getting the bottom of the left glute. The bottom of the left glute is slightly lower than the bottom of the right glute. Cool. And now I'm still here, people, continuing with the torso. So this is a secondary light source hitting the small of the back. There's a little light on the erector spinae muscle kind of going up one side of the spine. And then I'm just going to put a little tone over here on that side of the ribcage. This is all one shape, and it goes kind of to the scapula. Oh, why do I have a shaky hand today? Maybe it's because I had 3 cups of coffee. That's probably why. And now I'm going to get the shoulder, the deltoid. I'm probably going to take how long have we been doing this? 45 minutes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Lighting wise. Okay, so you mean it's kind of too light. So okay, got you. So shoulder. I've got to get this arm because this arm is important to the pose. So now I'm doing one side of the deltoid, which is excuse me, nothing more than an oval. And we're coming in, and so pencil stroke direction matters. I've been doing a lot of vertical pencil strokes. So now I'm not outlining the neck. I'm just putting in tone. Shoulder, trapezius right over there, not deltoid, trapezius. So now that just built up my confidence with the torso. I'm pleased with that. Okay, I'm a big believer. There's 14 million different ways to draw, and every teacher will teach you a different way, and that's great. For me, I love drawing the torso, and I built up most of my confidence over the years, completely understanding how to draw the torso, understanding all of the muscles and the bones, and I'm very, very, very confident with drawing the figure when I start in the shadow. Okay. I'm going to open my blinds for a second here, so I can let a little bit more light in my studio. So I'm also going to just stand up for a moment, and 1 second. All right, cool. A little bit more light in the studio. So let me not get stuck here. Let me continue on, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can give you a little variety here. Cool. So this is this is just one way, everybody. There's not one right way to draw the figure. It's each pose presents a new problem that you need to solve. And each technique solves a certain problem. So when the model, let's say you are in a classroom situation and the model poses, I first look at the pose and then I'm like, what technique should I use? I'm going to do the line of action. That's what I'm going to do for this particular pose. And thank you, Kurt. Constantinus, welcome. Okay, so now upper leg, which is just angle, 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 or an S-curve, never a straight line. And now this is our letter C. And now I'm just going to be gestural. Gestural with a little bit of tone at the Achilles tendon. That looks too long. So, oh, I'm not even on the screen. So let me zoom back out. My bad. I'm sorry. Let me just make sure I like my proportions. And then I promise y'all I'll zoom in. So would I rather have the leg longer than shorter? You bet. But I think that's too long. So that's a target. Now I'm lifting the model's heel up. And I think I like that. So let's just do... Now, with my trusty Colares, I draw much better gesturally with that than I do with this mechanical. But, you know, I wanted to try something different today. So just get some angles for that foot. I'm not loving this. Something doesn't feel right. But don't get stuck. Like, keep moving around. Don't get stuck. Don't be too judgmental about your art. I think it's just really good to keep going. Okay, this is where the greater trochanter sticks out. Then this angles down a little in. The quad comes in. And then the outside ITB band. And then that. So I might move this leg over. So, oh yeah, totally. So this inside of the knee kicks out, kicks in, kicks out. So now, listen, if you made a mistake, no harm, no foul. Just add your shadow shape. So little shadow shape over here, little shadow shape over here, and vertical lines on a vertical leg. And let's see, how does this thing erase? It erases great. Okay. A little angular. That leg is so stiff. Oh, my goodness. It's all good. Let's keep going. So let's now, I'm not going to outline this leg so much. I want to just do it with tone. So look at the negative space in between the two upper legs. So we've got an S curve. And then this is foreshortened. I'm just doing it as a tone. Now, how far away is our model's foot from the inside of the knee? And did I get that tilted right? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. I don't know if I got that tilted right, but we're going to keep going because we need to keep comparing two. So let's get this foot. Now, I'm looking at the inside of the knee to the ball of the foot, and that distance is not that far. Now, listen to me, people. That foot, it's not that low. And look at, if this is the bottom of our model's butt, find where the heel is. It's not that far below that. So when you draw the model's bottom of the foot like this, it's another torso peanut shape kind of shape. So I can just kind of erase out over there, erase out that target. I do like that a little bit higher. And don't commit to your darkest lines just yet. Kind of just suggest, and that's good enough for now. Okay, awesome. So it's some placement. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Hey, Princess, welcome to the live stream today. And Constantinus, yeah. So it's sometimes, you know, you can just. Oh, how I gotta be careful I don't go off on a tangent here, but I'm a big believer in mental management for artists the same way athletes, like professional athletes, use mental management. And what I mean by that is you just need to really, really, really guard how you talk to yourself internally. Because when you're, we have all ages on the live stream, but I teach really young students, like first year students are basically 18, 19. And even somebody who's a fourth year student who's like 22, confidence is fleeting. You could lose your confidence very, very quickly as an artist, and you'll lose it even faster if you constantly say, "Oh my God, I screwed up again. Like, I'm such a jackass. I can't believe I made the same mistake again. Why did I do that? Like, oh my God, this other person keeps kicking my butt in class. Why do I suck?" Like, if you talk like that, you're never gonna get better. And it's not about being all Tony Robbins and shit like that. It's just being conscious of the way that you speak to yourself. That's all. Okay, so I don't know if those arms might need to be a little bit taller. Now, where is the model's forehead in relationship to the breast? The forehead's to the right of the breast. So I'm just going to do the opposite letter C for the model's face. And it's overlapped by the model's deltoid and hair. Forearm could be higher. Hair, just draw a shape of hair, everybody. Oh my God, I'm so far away from that head. No wonder why I'm screwing up. Maybe I'll draw another pose, Hitro Zop, from my imagination. Sometimes drawing the feet is like constructing an oblong bowling pin. Absolutely, I like that. That's cool. Well, listen, I'm not anti-AI, although I do feel it's changing. It's changed everything, and for me, some good, some bad. I don't know that much about it to be talking about AI here on a live stream. But what I do know is that you have to just understand, and I understand what I'm doing here. I am teaching people how to draw with a good old-fashioned pencil, not necessarily to do this as a career, but to just for the love of drawing. Now, I was like, if you know my history, and I won't get into it too much, but I was a professional illustrator for 18 years of my adult life, and I enjoyed it. But I wouldn't want to do it again because I wouldn't want to be struggled with other people's deadlines that control my life. Like, I'm a little done with that. So the reason why I'm teaching drawing like this on YouTube, this isn't necessarily about career stuff. This is about the enjoyment of drawing. This is about becoming skillful with your hands. This, for some people, could be about meditation. This is not about ChatGPT or all the other things that help you to create your artwork faster and streamline things. Like if you suck at doing perspective, you can use all these tools that this needs to be taller. So absolutely. Now, at this stage in the game, I kind of should have left the foot longer. I like it longer. So now you lean back and you look at this from far away. And I'm going to go with the longer foot now that I put those arms there because they're really tall. So now is a really good time to get up off of your chair and look out the window. Look out the window. Look at your drawing from far away. What's working? What's not working? Are the legs too short? Or I'm just taking a break here for my arm. Are the legs too short? Are the arms too big? Is the head too big? Is the foot too small? Reset your eyes. Look at something far away. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put my other glasses on for a second and look far away and reset my eyes. Okay. So I don't love this leg. It's extremely stiff. So here's what we can do to loosen it up. Where is my kneaded eraser? Oh, God. Come on. Kneaded eraser. Here we go. In yesterday's Zoom class, we were drawing facial expressions. So I'm going to get rid of that outline. That completely loosens everything up. Okay? So The lab I'm currently in doesn't have any windows. When I said that, I knew somebody was going to be in a room with no windows. One of my perspective classes has no windows. It's like a $1 million classroom at the School of Visual Arts, and I love it. I really appreciate it. And the animation department did a phenomenal job with designing and building two brand new floors for the students, and they're phenomenal. I'm so fortunate to be teaching there, and I do like classrooms much better that have windows, but I'm not complaining, and yeah, it's all good. What do I do next? What do I do next? So I'm going to zoom in now, okay? So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to work on that torso. And I want to see how I do this with this mechanical pencil. So let me, and I've got another picture zoomed in, and let me go to this picture. I don't want to move my piece of paper. I'm going to I'll move my piece of paper. Okay, time out. Because I want to get the head and I want to get the torso. So, 1 second. I'm just untaping my sheet of paper and bringing that down like that. So this might also be better for everybody on YouTube. It's a little bit bigger. Sweet. Okay, time for a little drink of water. Time out. That's pretty funny. Yeah, you're in a car. It's got lots of windows. I'm just taking a break from drawing here for a second to look at some in the chat. Take a drop of Tabasco hot sauce on the tongue and feel the heat and thrill of life. Oh, God, no. My TV just fell over. In the car, all I've got is windows. Okay. Nice. Okay. Torso. Let's work on the torso a little bit. How long have we been doing this? We've been doing this for almost an hour. Almost an hour. So, okay, I'm just moving my iPad. I want to make the torso a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm looking at reference on both my screen to the left, right to the left. It's good to have your reference to the left and up above. I can't put it up above because that's where the camera's looking at me. But if I wasn't filming, I would have the reference right up above. It's easier on your neck. And it also, you see what I'm doing here? I'm drawing with my fingers, and I normally don't draw that way. So when you draw with your fingers, it's less continuous line. It's less flowy. So I've got to keep that in mind, not to be too stiff. It's good to look up at your reference because we all look down way too much looking at our phones. And so looking up is much better on your neck versus having your reference to the left if you're a righty. You're constantly just looking like one way, and that's not great for your body. Okay. Now, do I want to use a brush today, or do I just want to draw without the brush? I don't know. The beautiful thing about using a Bristol brush is that I can make the tone look darker so much faster. But I think today I'm just going to use no brush just to mix it up because I've been using the brush a lot lately. And I'm trying to be a little bit looser here right now. I'm getting rid of straight lines and I'm trying to curve everything. So look at how my pencil stroke's curving. Yeah. I noticed the female dot has 2 dots on the lower back. Okay, so let me get a scrap piece of paper. So what those dots are, it's, you have your pelvis, gee whiz, and you have your sacrum. How is this going? I'm drawing it the opposite way. So your sacrum is a triangle. And then this side of the pelvis is called the iliac crest. Let's see if I can do this. and then this side of the pelvis, sit bone would be lower. Sit bone would be higher. So if that's the iliac crest and that's your sacrum with those little dots there, um, dimples are like right about here above, because this is where your pelvis. So it gives you the tilt. For some reason, I'm spazzing out with the tilts, but that's what that is. All right, and it's a landmark, and it's a very good landmark to know. So yeah, so this would be here. You don't want to outline it too much. That's the model's sacrum, the base of the spine. That when you're a little kid and you're using your bike or skateboard, and you wipe out, and you land on your tailbone, and it hurts like hell. Yes, you know that's your sacrum, into the little bones at the bottom of the sacrum called the coccyx. And I know that sounds funny. So I'm doing a little bit of outline in here, which is kind of a no-no, but I just want to share with y'all. And I kind of overdid the 2 dots on the back. I'll get rid of that, but let's keep going. So now, line that separates, and a little bit of modeling factors over here. And we've got a shape. This might need to be a little bit wider. And a little rib over here, and then S-curve of the spine comes a little closer to the left edge of the body, and then we've got a fold of skin, i.e. also twisting of the muscles, and a rib right there, and then we have the small of the back. This is just like a cylinder over here that goes up either side of your spine, and we're putting a little bit of shadow there, and then this is the bottom of your scapula, right about here. And she's twisting, so you're going to see, now I'm starting to curve, and lat muscle kind of deltoid. I think that could be higher up, but I'm going to leave it. And trapezius, 7th cervical vertebrae right about there on the base of the neck. And then there's a little pocket of dark on this side of the model's scapula. This side of the small of the back, the light should not be as light as the hip because the body is turning. And this secondary light source on the model's body should not be as light as the primary light source. So yeah, things to think about. Now, the top plane of the shoulder, and this is the other top plane. Let's go around, go around, go around. And what else can we do here? Let's just do, I should kick the model's hip out just a little bit for fun. Come on down. And yes. And okay, cool. And let's just go over here a little bit more, dark. Let me just look at the chat here for a second. Yeah. So I love this. So I'm just going to do it like right over here. So what we're basically seeing is the rib cage and the pelvis, 7th cervical vertebrae, and I know I'm blocking this a little bit, and then S-curve of the spine. This is the sacrum. Spine, bottom of the rib cage, bottom of the rib cage, top of the iliac crest of the pelvis, and then we have a tilt of the shoulders. So this arm is up, so the sacrum is kind of tilted. I'm sorry, not sacrum, scapula. Scapula is tilted like that, and this one's actually really tilted and winging. So that would be the angle of those 2 triangular scapulas. So it's so very important that you understand basic anatomy for figure drawing, in my opinion. It's kind of brutal to watch, but I love it. I'm a little bit older probably than most of you on the live stream. and I've had some injuries, and I love studying anatomy so I can figure out how to heal those injuries as quickly as I can because injuries kind of suck. When I hurt my neck, I just became flat out obsessed with understanding the human body because the neck is, most central to your health because from your brain down your cervical vertebrae, your neck, that's where everything's controlled from, like your central nervous system, your spine. And I'm obsessed with learning anatomy. And when I draw the model in class, that's what I'm really thinking about the most is I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, well, what is that like little shadow? What is that? Is that the sacrum? Is it a muscle? And so I'm thinking about that stuff a lot. I'm really really super tempted to use a brush. Yeah, I so ultimately you need to pick a photo that you connect with, and I love this model. I have two photo packs of this model. I think they're just a great model, very classic look, and the photographer did a very good job not having the secondary light source be too bright, and it's form light kind of. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So when you choose a photo to work from, I need a scrap piece of paper. 1 second. Let's put that right there. Okay. Just to put my hand on. So okay, cool. And let's do that side of the neck is not white paper. The model's ear. Let's just look at this negative space. So I have the neck tilted a lot. I could exaggerate the pose. I don't need to get it like exact. Hair. How far? Oh, that hair is pretty high up from the shoulder. The bun of our model's hair. Negative space between the wrist and the hair. Hair shape. The ear. Okay, I'm cool with that right now. And strokes for the way the hair is being pulled up into the bun. Shadow shape. I'm not going to draw fingers today, people. This hand needs to be higher. Is that on the screen? Let me zoom out a touch. What time is it? Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. I'm going to have to take a bathroom break soon, and I need to stand up. So, yeah, don't sit down for too long. Stand up and stretch a little bit. Absolutely. That wrist is a little bit too skinny. And this little finger sticks out. I'm not going to get into fingers today. Not enough time on this live stream. And it would probably be very boring for you to watch because that hand is so small. And let's just look at this arm, and let's look at the negative space between the bicep and the neck. And the forearm. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that's good enough for now. I don't want to get too stuck there. I could just block it all in. Side plane of the hand, side plane of those fingers. Let's just, so tiny, the model's eyes. That eye, yeah, I don't like that, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. So if you don't like an area, don't get stuck. Keep moving around. And I think I need to work on this model's lower leg. That head feels a little bit too big for me. And the distance from the shoulder to the arm, I could lower the arm. It's nice to have an eraser on the pencil, so I don't have to always switch to the mono zero. Where is my mono zero? Here we go. Oh, the hair is so much closer to. Okay, I see. Where are we? And the bottom of the ear and the neck. And this gal's shoulder is a little bit bigger. Cool. Okay. I'm not saying it's perfect. We're getting there slowly. Now, you could even try something where this is not a cop out. This is loosening the drawing. Just like get rid of some of that harshness. I'm going to have to come back to this. Let me work on it actually a little bit more right now. So let's see. We've got this piece of hair, back of the model's hair, right near this like bone behind your ear. It's called the mastoid process. It's like, feel it behind your ear. It's like really a bony protrusion. And there's a little bump there. And then the model's hair is being pulled. And good. Okay, now bun is very dark. And it's going higher into covering the thumb. Better. Very dark over here. Okay, cool. And now line that separates the light from the shadow. Absolutely. Let's see. So shoulder, trapezius, line that separates reflected light over here. Now deltoid, and line that separates here, the dark halftone. And then this turns under because it's an oval. And then we come that way. So I'm really paying attention to my line that separates light from the dark. You don't need to outline it like what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it for like educational purposes. A little darker over here. And yeah, okay, cool. And now deltoid, tricep. Where is that elbow? It's to the left of the rib cage, so I need to move this to the left. Now I'm doing a lot of stiff outlining, everybody. So I'm not going to claim that this drawing is not stiff. It is a little stiff. I'll show you maybe if we have time at the end how I would loosen it up. Yeah. Okay. And this butt over here. What else can we do? So let's curve around. Solid, solid, solid. Oh, I see. This leg is over here. And I'm going to move the foot to the left. The heel, that is. Is that on camera? Yes. Good. And this is just going to all get shaded. Now, should we use the brush to blend? What about drawing paper? So, do I have my drawing pad here? No, I don't. So I'm basically using a very, very generic drawing paper. It is Strathmore. You can find Strathmore paper at every single art supply store. It's the most common paper out there, Strathmore. And they have multiple drawing pads. The one that I am using today is just called Strathmore 400 series drawing paper. And it's 80 pounds. And I like it for drawing, AKA in the studio. And so for me, this is in the studio. I don't love it anymore in the classroom because everything that I do in the classroom, I need to have speed. And so I do so many drawings in the classroom, drawing the model that it could get a little pricey because you can go through a pad in like 4 weeks. And because it's lots and lots of gestures. All right, I need to zoom out. Look at this thing from far away. And let me lift up the paper. I don't know how far I want to take this one, but let's see. So let me just zoom. Good. Okay. Let me just level the paper. Awesome. Where are we? Where are we? So leg. Any type of paper I can draw on it for sales purpose. What do you recommend for me to do? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but there's no one perfect paper. You need to experiment and find one that fits your needs, and your needs are number one. That could be budget. Thank you, Joy. Like what's in your budget, and um, what feels good when you put the paper down, pencil down on that paper. What it has to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, oh, that leg needs to be moved over. Nuts. Okay. If it doesn't feel good, it's not gonna be a good paper for you. So I always like this paper. And also, you choose the paper that works best with the pencil that you enjoy drawing with the most, because yes, there's so many variables with paper. It's hard for me to say you must like get this paper. This paper is the best. Like there's nothing like that for me. Like I basically use Strathmore for everything. So I use Strathmore, Bristol. No, sorry, I do not use Bristol. I use newsprint for life drawing. I use this 400 series for drawing in my studio from photos. It's very inexpensive compared to other really expensive papers for this. And I like also Strathmore illustration board 4-ply, just mainly because I've been drawing on that and painting on that board most throughout my whole entire career. I've done some of my best paintings on that illustration board. So I draw on it too, but I draw on it after I paint a value or a color on top of it. Now, okay, so do I use? I'm asking y'all. Do I use a brush for blending, or do I just not use a brush? What would you like me to do? Because then I can pull out some lights with the eraser. I don't know. Do I not blend it? Looking for feedback. And actually, people, I need to take a bathroom break. I drank a ton of water. Thank you for that question. And can you put your phonics of your name in the chat? Yes, brush. Okay. Okay, time out, people. I'm going to just go to the other reference. I should have done that a while ago. Cool. Listen, I need to get up for a second. I need to go to the bathroom. I've been drinking a ton of fluids. Too much information. I'm sorry. So I also need to just get up off of this chair. Like I can't sit down for like longer than an hour. It just destroys me. So I will be back in like 4 minutes. 1 second. Maybe a little quicker. Okay. So upon standing, I think I'm cool with the leg. But the left arm is not right. Her left arm is definitely not right. So it's, let me change my glasses here. So this left arm needs to be tilted less and it needs to be like a little bit taller. Is that the end of the world? Do I really need to fix that on a live stream? No. But let's just see what happens when we move it. Yeah. Skinny wrist. Um, Negative space. Get rid of that. Just turn it into a silhouetted shape. Yeah, right? Tell me about it. Blend it. Okay. Pee pee poo poo. So let me just so look, this was the drawing from last week. It's a little different. So you have to choose what you like. So this one is not blended. This one is blended. Now, which one do you like? And maybe you like more of this rough effect, and that could work for you. Now, this also is the Colorase. So the Colorase is very different than the graphite. And like I just control the Colorase so much better than I control the graphite. Also, you need to decide, do you want to do a hard outline that's more stylized, or do you not want to have an outline? Do you want to have more what is happening over here, where this is tone next to tone? This is more of an outline. So that's a personal choice. Like I love outlines. Outlines really work for me. I think they're awesome, but a lot of people don't like outlines, right? So you need to just decide what's going to work best for you. Now, I'll just be minimalistic with the brush. I won't overdo it. So what brush do I use? I just use a cheap Bristol brush. That's all. Nothing crazy. So if you want to do this, like you can get two sizes. So even if you just get two sizes like this, that's great. You can get a third if you want to break the bank and just get one a little bit smaller. And that's really good for the little areas. Now, when you do this blending thing, I'm going to use the big brush. Why do I have an itchy nose? Jesus. I'm just going to not necessarily overblend it. Just a little bit. And don't worry about staying within the lines, because you can make like a little background tone. So I'm kind of just using a circular stroke. And what this does, it also very much, everybody on YouTube, it saves you time, because it just got so much darker where I used the brush than where I did not use the brush, right? So this could save you a tremendous amount of shading time. Don't worry about it. Just go. Don't worry about going within the lines. You can go out of the lines. And so this is good for you to see if you maybe like the blended or not the blended. Okay. And I'm going to keep going. So now I'm just going to... Why is my nose itchy? We're going to draw with our eraser also. So I'm just... Look at how much darker that got, like immediately. Now you can be like, oh God, you're ruining it. But this is just one layer. And if I wanted to now... Okay, timeout. I got to go blow my nose. My nose is like itching me like crazy. I can't believe this is happening. 1 second. Sorry, the hazards of doing a live stream. Okay. Um, Now, what you could also do, where's that pencil? Is let's talk about loosening up this very stiff drawing. So you need to make a decision. Do you want to use any Wintering Berlin? This channel introduced me to figure drawing like 13 years ago. I'm happy to see it's still around. Itchy noses are the worst. Yes. Yeah, we're still around. I mean, this is the only thing I know how to do. So I can't change careers now. At least I don't want to. Listen, if you want, you can just put like a little bit of tone in the background, but you don't want it to be like distracting. So I can do like a little bit of tone over here. And and then I can do like a little bit of tone over here. And I'm mimicking the gesture of the pose, right? So I can, let me move this sheet of paper over a little bit. So I could frame out the light side of the body. You don't want it to be too over the top, hugging, and then kind of fade away a little bit. And that is so over here, you would completely lose the edge. Just draw right on top of the model's arm and scribble. Put some tone down, okay? And yes, and go right over the edge of the model's body. Lose that. That's a good way to lose that part of the drawing. Now, I'm certainly not going to use a blend-in stump. But as soon as I do this, now this is the area that I'm losing an edge. And what does that do? It relaxes your drawing. And what does that do? It prevents your drawing from looking stiff. So over here, I'm okay with having a little bit more of a definitive edge because I want to accentuate the model's hip. Okay, so I'm cool with that. So we're kind of doing like a little bit of a reverse gradation. Awesome. Now, the other beautiful thing that you can start to do is you could start to shape your kneaded eraser like that. And you can start to pull out some of the lights with your kneaded eraser. I don't have enough pencil on the paper to start to do this, but we can suggest it. So this is a little bit more like drawing like a painter. Like I have videos on YouTube, and I've got tons of them on my website that show me not blending. This is just fun on YouTube. That's all. And then you can draw a little bit with the kneaded eraser. So over here, this should not be as light as that. And I'll smudge it again, and that will make it less light. So we've got little light hitting this side of the glute. A little bit of that side of the dimple of the sacrum. A little bit over here on the sacrospinalis. And a little bit over here. And this just needs to be softer. Elbow is very light, so I can lose that edge. And now if I wanted to, over here, since the back is dark, let me zoom in just a touch here. I could pull out, it's all about what you want to accentuate, what do you like about the pose. I could pull this out and just make it a little, that's where I can accentuate the pose a little bit over there. I can get rid of this outline, which would relax the entirety of the drawing. And so, yeah, and then if I wanted to, I could, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway just for fun. I could show you, like over here, we can do like a little bit of that reflected light on the arm, a secondary light source. I think that's not good, but you could try that. We could make this arm, this outline lighter, and that would completely relax the drawing. See, what makes your drawings stiff is when you outline all of it 100%. Now, would I leave that outline completely out? No, I would not, but I'm just kind of like messing around here trying to teach you some different techniques. Okay, so let's see. What time is it? So we've been going for an hour and a half. Not too bad. How about we go for a little while longer? And any questions? Okay. Start all over again. And a little bit of dark halftone. Scribbling over here. I'm using a scribbling and a curving line. Around the leg. This is way too thick for me. Where's my mono zero? I said I wasn't going to use the blend in stump, but I just got to get rid of that line right there. It's gross. This is actually beautiful to use the blend in stump. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. So now I made that way too dark. So if you do that, it's easy. You just flatten your kneaded eraser and you drag it on top of it. Yes. I just want to have fun here for a second. Softening that edge. Kicking the butt out. Darkening the center of the butt. Drawing with the drawing with the blend-in stump. This is a different style of drawing now. Now I'm drawing like a painter. I think the butt's a little bit too low there. Okay, it's all good. I'm a little sloppy right now with it. I think I made that foot too low. So let me clean things up now. When to relax the outline? Okay, I'll answer that in a second. I'm just looking for something. So you relax the outline. So let's talk about traditional painters like John Singer Sargent, John Leon Jerome, people like that. They usually lose an edge in the shadow. So if there's a shadow part of the body, the part of the body that's in the shadow blends into the cast shadow. And that's a very, very traditional way to lose edges. You lose edges where the shadow meets the cast shadow. Okay. Another way is where if you're drawing the model and there's like a very strong light source hitting the model's body, like on the hip, you could not outline where it's really, really light there. And that's another option. Another option is, let's say you're drawing a pose that is a little bit more foreshortened, where the body parts that are going far away from you, they don't need to be outlined because they're going into the background, so to speak. So there's a lot of different ideas with when to lose an outline, when to lose an edge, and there's not always like one answer that explains it, but those are a couple, and the simplicity of that is it's very good to lose some edges, especially in the shadow. I'm just trying to clean this up a little bit because I went a little too crazy there. So yeah, now I'm trying to clean my edges back up. Just because edges are extremely important, to use my animation students' terminology, shape language. So you're trying to show the shape language of the model's leg. And you don't want like this over here, it's confusing. So then you need to, I need to sharpen my eraser. 1 second. Okay, so this kind of loops down. There's really not much of an edge over here on this model's leg. Okay, that rolls into that part of the foot. That part of the foot rolls up, comes in, and then the heel is a little bit bigger. Okay. I think I have the foot too low. So I'm still just treading lightly and cleaning up some of this. This pencil is erasing out quite nicely. No problems using the eraser. And yeah, that's a good thing to know with this pencil paper combination. This works well. So I'll lift up the knee a little bit. And good. So draw with the eraser a little bit. That's cool. Just a different way of doing things. Clean up the edge here and there. Now, this is a reflected light over here. Do we need to do the reflected light? No, we do not. We can just have that side of the body be a little bit more in shadow, but I don't want the lower leg to be so dark. So this is different with the mechanical pencil, no doubt about it. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I dislike it. It's just different. It erases out quite nicely, and it is a little bit easier on my hand. The Coal Erase is a little bit more rough on the hand because you have to press down so hard with it to get the darks. Okay, where are we? Just going to lighten this a little bit. I went a little too crazy with the blend-in stump. Do I need to have the reflected light? No. I'm just kind of messing around here today. Let's curve around. And this is the dark halftone. Circular stroke. And cast shadow over here is very dark. So I like to work on the drawing in layers. So I'm just doing different layers now. Let me zoom in. Okay, so let's go back to this little dimple. I'm going to outline pretty hard here. I'm okay with that. I like it. Some people don't like it, and that's cool. You need to decide what works best for you. And right next to the sacrum, trying to get the shape language there, this dimple. Now, the way that I'm drawing today, right now on this YouTube live stream, this is not how I teach drawing in the classroom. Everything in the classroom in the animation department is quicker. The longest I will do sometimes in the afternoon session while I'm looking at homework is an hour long drawing, so 320s. But most likely, the longest pose in the classroom would be like a 20. So I never really do this kind of demonstration in the classroom. I used to back in the day when I taught in the illustration department, but in the animation department, we don't do these long drawings like this. Totally not. This is I love doing both. I like doing the short stuff, the gestures. I love that, and I also like spending time working on some of these long drawings as well. I like that too. So it's nice to be able to do both. Totally. And I feel as though I'm happy that I use this mechanical pencil today because I wanted to try something different. But for a long drawing, there's no doubt in my mind I like the color erase better. This is much, 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 much easier on my hand. But I feel as though I can get more subtleties with that color erase pencil. No doubt about it. Let's move this. Any questions from anybody out there in YouTube land? So I'm adding a little bit of the reflected light just for fun. People tend to make reflected lights way too light. So you want the primary light source to be the lighter and the reflected light to be a secondary light source, not as bright as the light side. You run into troubles when you make the reflected light the same value as the primary light. Okay, so this comes over here. Cool. interesting. Just lighter pressure with this eraser. And just trying to get the reflected light a little bit more detail. A couple of ribs there. I don't want to make this line here so thick. It's a little heavy. So I'm going to erase it. Is that on camera? Yeah. Okay, cool. You got it, Michelle. Thank you for watching today. And yeah, it's a really hot summer day here out on Eastern Long Island. Yesterday, I think we hit like 102. And what's today? Hold on, let me see. Oof, 96. Jesus, heat advisory. I'm glad I'm doing this morning because my AC is not going to be able to keep up. Because if it's 96 right now, we're going to 100 at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll definitely be 100 degrees. Okay, I understand. I want to do more live ones, and I really want to try to do some that are later in the day, so I can reach people at a different time than in the morning. I'm a morning person. I love the mornings. I used to be the opposite when I was younger, but I think that's somewhat common for older people. Like they tend to wake up earlier and earlier and earlier. Not everyone, not everyone. And there are some people who really do their best work in the wee hours of the night. I just always now like waking up early and doing stuff earlier in the day. But with that being said, I need to do a later live stream just to reach a different audience of people who just are working at this time of the day, and they cannot watch a live stream at this time of the day. I understand. Now, over here on this model's back, you do not want to go too light. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around. I don't know how far I'm going to take this piece. I'm probably going to work on it a little bit after the live stream. So this is that 7th cervical vertebrae. Well, that was fun. Okay, so turning that into the light. Let's do a little bit more turning over here. Actually, let's not say we did. Let's work on this arm ever so slightly so we have this deltoid. Notice my pencil stroke direction is going up. Now, I normally never hold my pencil like this when I draw anymore, but you know, everything gets thrown out the window when I'm working on video because I don't want my head to get into the camera. So I'm trying to keep my head away from the like this. I don't want to do that. So normally when I'm drawing, I'd be here, like much, much closer. But unfortunately, I can't do that on the live stream, which is why I usually like to finish the drawings after the live stream because I can get closer. Like I'm so far away from this drawing right now. So this is the model's lat muscle. What else can I do here? A form line. Okay, I got to change the music. Hold on. 1 second. Oh boy, that song is awful. Okay. I usually just pick an artist and on Spotify and let all of their songs play. And it's a great way to find some songs from artists that you never heard before. Okay, what else should I do, people? Any suggestions, any questions? Angelia, I don't know if you're still watching, but I hope you're getting something from this because I know you like to draw this model too. So, Angelia, I do like the Colorase better than this pencil. There's no doubt about it. This is just a little bit more user friendly for me to use on a live stream because it's quicker for me to get the dark darks. The Colorase just takes a little bit longer. You know that. I think that foot is to the left. I looked there for an affiliate link. They do not have one. Graphit Studio. If you ever, anybody from Graphit Studio ever looks at my videos because you see the photo that I purchased from you, do you have an affiliate link? I would like to have an affiliate link so I can promote your photos because I think they're awesome. So it's Graphit, Grafit, I think, something like that. So just type in Graphit Studio on Google and their Gumroad website will pop up. I'm just moving this foot to the left. Is that on camera? No, Matt, it's not on camera. Okay. Let's zoom out. Sorry, my bad. So this is the side of the, excuse me, Achilles tendon, heel. Reflected light is not that light, but I just got to get rid of my initial line. And that's all one big hot mess down over there. The photos, if you're just a singular artist who just draws for fun and it's a hobby, the photos are very reasonable. You can get a couple thousand reference photos for not a lot of money. If for somebody like me I have to buy the YouTube license to use their photos on YouTube, it's a little bit more, but in the grand scheme of paying models, it's not, because I've paid models individually and it gets a little pricey. So these are awesome photos. Now, technically, I don't want to have a floating model, so I can put a little cast shadow over there. A couple of form lines on the back of the knee. So let me sharpen my eraser again. I've got the ankle a little bit too thick. Yeah, that needs work. So that little thing I will work on outside of the class because it's too small. I don't think you're getting too much value from me working on that. Now, let's just get in the oval for the big toe and leave it there for now. You don't want to press down too hard on that either. It's a little weird looking, but it's fun. Oh, you slept in. Sparrow does stuff. That's funny. Good to see you. Yeah, we're drawing with a mechanical today that I found in my classroom. And I also had a couple of students that were drawing the model with the mechanical. And I'm like, please use a different pencil than the mechanical for live drawing. And some of them never listen to me at all. And so, yeah, I get it. Young and you want to do what you want to do, and it doesn't matter what the teacher says. I'm not 100% against the mechanical pencil. I think it's a great pencil, but I wouldn't use it in a life drawing situation, because you want something a little bit where you can press down pretty hard on the pencil. And it sometimes when you keep pressing down hard on the mechanical pencil, it keeps breaking. It's a little frustrating, but it's a great way, if you want it to be, to train your touch not to be so heavy. Okay. Let's see. All right, we have some people still watching. I didn't bore everyone to death. Awesome. So this leg has a gradation to it. Yeah, I love mechanical pencils. They're good. I stopped using them for many, many years, but I'm back into them for whatever reason. I think it was Alex. I was drawing on a student's pad in the classroom. Alex, they had a mechanical pencil. And I did like a little drawing of the model. I'm like, whoa, okay, that was fun. I need to do that again. Let's get this spine a little bit more pronounced. Questions, anybody? Make sure you give the video a like. Make sure you leave a comment. And you should click on the notifications bell, because I'm going to go live a minimum of once a week. I'm going to try to do 2 times a week, upload to YouTube, whether it's a sketchbook video or just a live video. I'm going to try to do that. All right, so let me zoom in. And let me drop my drawing a little bit lower so it's not cropped. Sparrow, I have the same pencil you have. Then I lost it. Maybe, okay, so I'll mail it back to you, okay? How's that? I appreciate that, Michelle. I'm trying. This pencil's a little freaky. So shading lightly. This is that illustration board. Can you see how thick it is? This is the illustration board that I used for 18 plus years. I'm going to say I used it in college too, so probably like 25 years I used this board for my illustrations, and I would gesso it. But I also draw on it, and this is very high quality. It's 4-ply, 4 pieces of paper. So you have to practice shading the grayscale. So hold on. Dark, midtone, light, light. Okay, now is that a great grayscale? It's good enough. So let's do it again. Middle tone, light middle tone to almost nothing. So do you shade like this? Dark, heavy-handed, a little bit of middle tone at the end. And then practice with different pencils. So my arm is getting a little shaky because I've been holding it up now for almost 2 hours. But this is the Color-Ace, and I can do it better with the Color-Ace. So live here, light touch. Okay? Practice living here. Light touch. Now, what I used to do, I had to hold my pencil back here. So maybe practice doing it like this. And if you have a shaky hand or you don't have your touch yet, hold your pencil like that. Now look, mechanical. This is gessoed because there's a hair on here from my brush. light touch, light touch, light touch. So I'm holding my pencil back here because I'm heavy, maybe. That's the problem. So I'm trying to go light here. And it's not working. So you have to be able to hold your pencil like you're writing a letter, which is nobody writes letters anymore, and just try to go light. Like that. Okay? Now, this will, and even practice middle tones. That is a middle tone. And I know it's a middle tone because next to it, that's a dark. Okay? So you should practice that. And that's how you're going to get over that. Yeah, you're right, Joanne. I agree with you 100%. They're good, but they're not for every instance. Okay, where's my mono zero? Okay, come on, where's my mono zero? Where the heck does this shit go? Okay, hold on 1 second. Jesus. I think for the next live stream, I got to put half of my art materials away because I can't find shit. I'm just going to make this smaller. I need to work on the head area, the hands area, and all that way more. So let's see. I'm starting to lose some people, so maybe give me an idea. How much longer you think on this? And what questions do you have? Okay, let's see. I don't have any convexes. Ooh, that's nice, actually. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I need to work on the upper part of this, so I'm going to lower it. I think the head's maybe too big. Yeah. And I need to make this thing level. So let's compare this, because I've been working on it for 2 hours, to the drawing I did last week on YouTube. So mechanical versus, well, let's just do it like that. Colorase, mechanical. So the mechanical, I mean, it's not fair because this one's resolved a little bit more. The edges are clean, and the mechanical one looks a little sloppy. But yeah, so you just got to experiment and see what's best for you. Okay, maybe darken near the bicep of the left arm slightly. Agreed. I haven't worked on that arm at all, so I need to go there now. I wanted a perspective live stream. I struggle with perspective. Maybe next week. How about the next live stream that I do will be perspective? What perspective do you struggle with? Colorase for sure. Yeah, agreed. What perspective do you struggle with? I love doing interior spaces. Maybe we can do like a 3-point looking down at. I know I did ask what else. Hey, it's good. It's good. This is just all fun. Foreshortening. So Sparrow does stuff. So you mean foreshortening with the figure or perspective in terms of Talk 14. What is your first name? You mean foreshorten in the figure, or do you want like a full blown like boxes perspective thing? Sparrow does stuff because I could do foreshortening like that. We can do a figure drawing that is foreshortened. That could be fun. I appreciate you, Michelle. Any comments? I dare you. You got to give me like a hint. What was one of the ones that you did for homework that I really liked, or which semester? The figure. Okay, thank you. Sparrow does stuff. So look, I am writing this down. For figure next live. Okay, cool. Got you. We'll do that. I've got really phenomenal photo reference. Well, comparing the Colorace to the mechanical isn't quite fair. You get real good leads for mechanical pencils and you get really shitty ones. It's not the mechanical pencil as much as it's the lead. I never thought of it that way. Joanne, what graphites leads do you like to use that you feel are quality? More definition in the back of the knee. Okay, I like that. That's good. Okay, listen. I think I got to get up. My shoulder is screaming at me. Oh my God. There's still school buses outside. When are these kids gonna have summer break? Holy Moses. Okay, hold on. It's really good to look up at the ceiling gently. Yeah. Just to bend your neck the opposite way. Extension instead of constant flexion. Okay, where am I? So Joanne, you have to tell me the different mechanical leads that you like that you think are quality, because I don't really. I appreciate that, Michelle. Okay, so Michelle, darker over here. Okay, I'm trying. Let's see. Hint for one of your perspective. I drew Godzilla attacking the city. Oh my God, I know that piece. I'm never gonna remember. The hardest part of being a teacher at SVA, in my opinion, is I get to know the students so well at the end of the class. And then the next semester chimes in and I need to memorize like 80 to 100 new names. And then I see somebody in the hallway after I've just taught like a 3-hour class and I look at them and I'm like, I know that student. And I forget their name. And it's like, I hate that. I hate that. The Godzilla. Maybe it'll probably come to me at 3:00 this afternoon when I'm done with this. Godzilla. Damn it. I don't know. Yeah, I've got like 6 sketchbook tours on my phone that I need to actually put on the on YouTube. Godzilla, gee whiz. Wasn't that like this past semester, Godzilla? People on YouTube are like, what the hell is this guy talking about, Godzilla? I hate this arm. So this arm is something that is not working for me at all because I'm outlining it 100%. So it's a stiff thing that I'm doing here. P. Son of a bitch, boy, you're really challenging me. Damn it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so you, I wouldn't want to be your student. You would be tough. Podzilla. Okay. I still don't remember, but let's just leave it there. Okay. Rotring. That's interesting. Um, okay, let me there's a lot wrong with this arm. There's a lot wrong with it. Goodness gracious. And let's draw this model's hair again. Let me give it another go. Okay, let me write that down. Um, uni nano sounds like something that you would eat. And the other one was oh boy, Godzilla's taken over here. That's all the way up there. Godzilla attacking the city in 3 point. Holy Moses. Um, I can't find the other one. Uni nano. Pez? Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's go back up to this hair. Okay, so that is being pulled up. And okay, I just need to, what's right below the model's forehead? Okay, thank you, Joanne. Oh, rotring. Okay, rotring. That's rotring. Cool. I'm going to look for those. So I'm looking a little bit at the negative space between this model's head and their arm. Okay, so listen. If I see you in the hallway at SVA come September, you better stop me and say Godzilla's watching you. Okay? That's a must. Okay, this model's little nose right there. Then the eye socket, and then the eyebrow, and then the forehead. Better. Not great, but better. And this deltoid, I'm going to lift it up. For me as a teacher, when I had a student like 3 years ago, and then I see them in the hallway and I forget their name, it I hate that. I hate that so much, but it happens, and I'm like, hey, and I'm like, damn it, and I'm sitting there like trying to remember names. It's the most frustrating thing. So now what I do is I keep like a little notebook, and I need to, and I write everybody's name in that notebook and where exactly they sit in the classroom, and then people start switching up where they sit. I'm like, really? Um, let's see. I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna remember. I know I will. Okay, let's erase this out a little bit. It's a little heavy over here. So listen, Talk 14. Tell me, were you in like last semester or the semester before? Because I started using the Google Drive to put everybody's work in, and I would go look for the Godzilla piece. Was it spring of 25? Talk 14? Somebody is supposed to come to my house and look at a door that needs to be fixed. And they're coming, I think, after 2, but I hope that spring 2020. Oh, man, I wish on YouTube I could share everybody's work. They're so good. Spring 2025. Okay, so Thursday or Friday? Thursday or Friday class? Okay, that's a little bit better. Thursday. Okay, hold on. Where is my little booklet? Okay, wait a second. I want to go look at my little booklet. It's over there. 1 second. 1 second. Spring D class. Mira, Christine, Ying Chao, Clau, Kella, Mel, Hao Chung. Why don't I have everyone's names? Damn it. Okay. I have everybody's names from the afternoon. So, yeah, I would use this and I'd be like, okay, so Elaine is second row mid seat. And that helps me so much with names. I don't have all the names there, but yeah, you're challenging me nonetheless. How we doing here, YouTube? How we doing? Are you getting some value from this? Or am I now being silly and just rambling on? What questions do you have? Because I'm probably going to end this soon. I would love to. Yes. I'm going to look right after this. The homework was for the 3-point. So I'm keeping the fingers loose. I don't want to put details there. The drawing's too small and you won't get value from it. Move the neck over a little. Trapezius catching a little light there. Yeah, the Greek mythology thing. There's some great poses with that. You know it's done according to your style. So you should have a body of work that you have done, worked on over the years, and you look at it and you look for trends. And if your style is more on the realistic side of things, if the drawing is realistic, then it's your style and it should be done. That's just one way of figuring out if you're done. Another way of figuring out if it's done is if you're working on it and you're like, oh, this looks really good, but that's not perfect. And then you go in, you try to make it look perfect, then you screw it up. Then that's the universe saying, you're done, fool. Put the paintbrush or the pencil down. Now you're going to overkill it and you're going to ruin it. So that's a different way. When it's good and you try to make it perfect and there's no such thing as perfect, that's when you know that you're completely done. And then the third way that you know when you're done, thank you, P.A. Humdinger, is when the time that you have allotted for the actual drawing that you're doing and the type of drawing that you're doing. So if I'm in the classroom and I'm working on a 2-minute gesture drawing, when that timer goes off, I'm done. If I'm working on a 20-minute drawing, when that timer goes off, that's it. I'm done. I'm never working on that again. It's just a 20-minute drawing. This is a different beast, what I'm doing here. I can go on in perpetuity. I can work on this drawing for like another 3-4 hours if I really wanted to. Let me just see if I have... Timeout. Timeout. I'm just looking for something. Yeah, I'll never find it, but I've... One second. Yeah, no, I'm going to bore you all to death. It depends on those things and what you enjoy doing. Again, we were just talking briefly about AI, and I certainly don't pretend to know about AI and all that. But my style of teaching and what I teach is kind of the opposite from people who want to use AI, because this is more old school, and this is for people who want to still draw with their hands with a tactile approach with pencil on paper for whatever reason, because it's a form of meditation, because it's relaxing, because that's what they choose to do. It could really be that simple, versus using AI. I'm not dissing AI. I think it has its place, and it has its place whether we like it or not. But yeah, and I want to learn a little bit of AI. One of my favorite artists right now is an AI artist. And I said that to my students, and they got like a little upset with me because I showed some of their work, and I'm like, I'm sorry. When I look at this person's art, I connect with it, and I don't care that they did it with AI. It's so fine artsy. It's like not even funny. So I do like that. I just don't have time right now to start a new thing. And I almost took that artist class, but I'm smart enough to know when I'm spreading myself too thin, and especially during the semester. And during the summer, I need to work on my website to drum up new classes for it, to drum up some new business for my website, to do more coaching. So I just, got to pick and choose your battles. Yep. Can you hear the music that I'm playing? Oh, no. Sparrow does stuff. Can you hear the music that I'm playing? Okay. I don't make much revenue on YouTube at all, but let's just say I'm going to share. If you can hear the music, I'm going to be sharing the revenue with Moby. Okay, I just lowered it. What else can I do here, people? I think I need to eat lunch. Oh, classical music. No, I'm listening to an artist named Moby, Moby. At least I think that's what it is. Yes. This dude. What else can I do here? I'm not being too soft with the facial features. Okay. So I can work on this for a whole lot more time. But I think, let's see, I got to give myself a time. Maybe 1:10, I will finish this for the live stream. Okay, so like at 10 more minutes of this, and then I need to get up and eat some food, and somebody's coming over, and I need to just deal with life stuff. This shoulder is a little too much. Gee whiz. Okay. Um, yeah, I'll work on it. Now, again, I've been teaching here for since 10:30 a.m., so we're at 2.5 hours. And so I'm going to do just a little bit of self-promotion. So if you need feedback on your artwork, please check out drawingtutorialsonline.com. What do I offer? Well, I offer a membership. And with the membership, you get access to having a weekly critique of your artwork by me every Monday. You also get access to a Zoom call, which is different than YouTube because I can talk with you, I can see you in person, and I have a Zoom class every Tuesday. And you get access to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of courses and lessons that I have up on my website that are very structured. And with those courses and lessons, I have PDFs, I've got photo reference. So I teach perspective on my website. I teach composition. I teach landscape stuff. I teach portrait drawing. I teach figure drawing. So I teach a lot. So the live stream is good. I'm doing my best to teach you some information in more of an informal way. But if you want to support me and support the channel, maybe check out drawingtutorialsonline.com. The cool thing about it is you can subscribe for just a month and say, Matt, listen, I've had enough. Could you cancel my membership? Boom, I'll cancel it that same day. If you email me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I am not going to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, so you'd have to wait until I look at my email later in the day. And then, like I said earlier on the live stream, I also offer a one-to-one coaching, which is a candidate for coaching? Well, let's say you're in high school and you are putting together a portfolio to go to art college. I could help you with your portfolio and show you what you need to put into your portfolio so you can get a scholarship, not just get admitted to the college, but actually get a scholarship. So if you're a high school student and you're looking to put together a portfolio, I can most definitely help you with that. I've taught pre-college portfolio for many, 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 many years. I had a Saturday afternoon class teaching that. If you are an oil painter and you want to get better at painting portraits, and you're watching YouTube videos, and maybe you're a member of somebody else's website, but you're just not getting better, coaching would be phenomenal because I could paint over your artwork in Photoshop digitally and do that on a video that I record for you that you can download and get really, really high quality feedback on your artwork. I mean, I've been teaching at the School of Visual Arts for, I think it's 28 years. I don't know. I started teaching in 1997, fall semester of 1997, Principles of Illustration. So I'm really have a knack for critiquing people's artwork, and I could critique it fast, and I could see quickly what is not working. And my critiques are gentle. I'm not gonna like be a lunatic and start being abrasive with it. Like it's really more about focusing in on what you did really good and not always talking about what isn't working. You've got to focus on what's good too. And say that to my students over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, you did this piece, and then I don't do this every week because there's just not enough time in the class for me to do this. But when I can, I do it. I'm like, okay, what did you do really, really good on your homework this week? Now write that down so you'll repeat it again next week and build on that. That is crucial. And so there's so many other things that I talk about. I don't really talk too much about all this stuff on the YouTube live stream, but I go in detail with it in the coaching, and then we could do a Zoom call with the coaching, and that's when you can really pick my brain, and I could really see your artwork. So that's the difference between AI stuff and YouTube and all of that. It's personalized one-on-one human connection, which is very much a good thing. So that's my little plug here. We've got like maybe 7 minutes left on this live stream. Yeah, it's good to get feedback from people, but there's something about when you're actually paying for it, and that's what that teacher's job is, to focus on your work. And it's not like a meeting. I'm not saying what you're doing at Comic-Con is bad. I think that's great, but that's there's thousands of people at these Comic-Cons versus I don't teach that. I don't coach thousands of people. That would be virtually impossible. There's not enough hours in a day. It's very, very much boutique-y and very much limited people. And so I can fit it into my lifestyle, and that's like a good thing. Okay, so I think this is done for this live stream. Yes. Now, listen, if you want to read more about the things that I was just talking about, I've got links underneath this video. You can click on those links and read more about it there. So you can read about the membership site, drawingtutorialsonline.com, when you just land on that page. But then if you want to read about the coaching, I should have a link there, but I don't. You just click on the shop, and the shop will have the coaching links. Let's zoom out. Where's my remote control? Oh my God, my arm is screaming at me right now. So something is off, so I'm going to have to look at it. So again, when I'm drawing and I'm not doing a live stream, my head is here. I'm much, much closer to the drawing. Right now, I am so far away from the drawing. So either that leg needs to be longer or the head needs to be smaller, one or the other. I'm cool with the torso. It needs a little bit more tender, loving care with the modeling, and I'll do that like this afternoon. Let's see, what's the temperature outside? $97. All right, people. Listen, I appreciate y'all, and I hope you got something from this. This was like a lot of fun. I think I want to make that leg a little bit longer. I'll work on it after. Maybe the head a little smaller. Maybe a little bit of both. So, Michelle, thank you for watching. Sparrow Does Stuff, thank you so much for watching. And nice day for a tan. Talk 14. I'm gonna look for that Godzilla. What do you remember? You said it was the 3 point, so probably week 4 or week 5, week 3 or week 4. Um, yeah, I'm gonna look right after this. Actually, no, right after this, I'm getting food. So, yeah, Michelle, thank you, thank you. Listen, everybody, I appreciate y'all. I haven't tried liquid graphite, Vishal, but I know an artist who uses it, and I love their work. Maybe I got to try that. That would be fun. 90 in Arizona. Wow. I love Arizona. What part, Michelle? Cali. Okay. Okay, let me switch. Let me try this me paper. Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm just waiting for some of you to chime in so I can say goodbye. And I appreciate all the likes. Very thankful of that. And Talk 14, I'll check that out. Michelle, thank you for watching. And next week, we're going to do the foreshortened figure, or maybe even this week. I don't know. My icon photo was done with liquid graphite. Tucson. Wow, I am so jealous. You got it, Sparrow Does Stuff. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking to the left because that's where my iMac is, and that's where the chat is. In front of me is the drawing. Sorry for that. Organic Paul, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for watching. Phoenix, thank you for watching. Appreciate you joining us here today. Take care, everybody. I'll post this drawing later on today or tomorrow on my posts on YouTube here. So thanks again, and this is Matt signing off. Lita Lil, thank you. Michelle, thank you. Poughkeepsie, wow. I'd rather be in Phoenix or in Tucson. Yeah, Arizona, that is. Why did I say Phoenix? You got it. You got it. Thank you. You got it. Awesome. Woohoo. All right, everyone. I'll see you. Look for a sketchbook video this week, okay? I got to put that up. I've got way too many of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You got it, Borge. Borgemo, that's a cool name. All right, everyone. Take it easy. I'm signing off. Be good.